everybody, Carol Garrison here with Carol's Creative Escape. It is time for another Make It Monday. Today is Monday, October 28th. And as I said, my name is Carol Garrison. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Have been making cards for over 30 years. 20 of those, give or take a few years, using Stampin' Up! Products. And, you know, I do all kinds of things. I use stencils, I use embossing, all sorts of things, and I don't, my tools aren't as important to me as my ability to be able to spread joy one card at a time, and that's really what the purpose of my videos are, is to encourage you to make cards, to share cards, to send those cards out and bring joy to people that are receiving them, but also to find joy within yourself in making those cards and finding that creative peace. Maybe it's that creative escape. If you've got a stressful job like I do, it's kind of nice to be able to step away into that little studio space, whatever that may be at your house, and just find that creative peace again. So if I can help somebody find that through my videos or inspire somebody with a card that I make for them, I'm all for that kind of thing. I hope everybody's had a great week. I had a really busy stretch of work, and I got to take Friday and today off, and it was really nice to kind of recharge my batteries and have that 4-day weekend. Got stuff done around the house. It's the fall season here at my house right now, which means we are busy raking. I've got 3, I'm just counting them right now. No, just two huge maples in my backyard. It just feels like 3 or 4. No, I do have 3. It doesn't matter. I have a lot of really big maple trees in my yard, and they always seem to want to drop at the last second and kind of hold on to their leaves. So I think I'm at, we had a lot of wind pop up this afternoon, so I think I might be about 65-70% off my maple trees. And I decided I'm just going to kind of let the leaves fall, dry up, and hopefully I can mulch and mow and kind of be done with it in the next week or two. Anyhow, that's kind of been the excitement here at my house. Again, I am here to show you how to make a card, so let's just jump right into it. Excuse me as I'm flipping things around here. The card I'm showing you today, I don't really have a name for it. It's just kind of a flap fold card, for lack of a better description. It's one I actually found when I was scrolling through online, and I believe this was actually a die. I'm not even sure which company it was with. And I want to make sure I'm still there. Okay, things weren't clicking up here real fast. And it's not a die that Stampin' Up! Sells, nor is it one that I needed to buy, because I was able to figure out pretty quickly how to make the card quite easily without that die. So for me, that was kind of a double win. I'm going to try to get my cord out of here so I at least don't have that shadow. So it's kind of fun to challenge myself a little bit to be able to come up with the design after seeing it online without any directions. And, you know, knowing that when the original card was designed, it really was designed using this die. And so hopefully I can make it easy for you to do too, because I think it's kind of fun, and I'm having a little bit of difficulty here getting my camera straight. Let's just see what we can do. Some days are just so much harder than other days, you know? Oh, good golly, why is my camera so crooked? It seems like if I tweak one thing, then I need to tweak 5 other things, and I make it worse before it gets better. You don't need to see my belly there. All right, come on. Let's see if we can get you straight and centered on here. I'm going to keep going here as we work it through. The stamp set and stuff that I'm using tonight is one I know I've shared with you before, but it's been a while. So it's found on page 29 in the annual, or the mini catalog, and it's called Sentimental Christmas, and it includes a stamp set, dies, these rhinestone things, which I'll show you on a couple of the cards I used tonight, this beautiful shaded spruce ribbon, kind of a satiny ribbon. It does tie bows real nicely. It's got a lot of nice shine to it. I found it easy to tie my bow, so that's always a big thing for me. And then it comes with this designer series paper called Sentimental Christmas. And I want to share this paper with you again because Stampin' Up! Actually has something special they do with every purchase of this paper. And for every pack of this paper that's ordered, they're going to donate $3 to support children's literacy. Reading is something I have always enjoyed doing. I've tried to do it a lot with my kids and the grandkids now, and want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to read. And sometimes that can just simply be because they can't afford books. It might be a barrier. And so I'm really happy that Stampin' Up! Is taking time to support this cause. And again, it's with each purchase of this Sentimental Wishes designer series paper. It's actually called Sentimental Christmas, but I want to take time to run through. This is definitely old-fashioned kind of paper. The deer and the little bird with the wreaths of leaves or pine. And then we've got these beautiful Christmas trees all decorated with candles and packages. I'm actually going to use this in my card tonight. So just kind of the pine trees. And then we've got this fancy, I think it goes this way. Well, they're kind of all over the place, but little bouquets of holly and flowers with the red ribbon. And then this cute one with the stocking. The die does cut out these stockings, so that's kind of fun. And there's also a die that'll cut out the ribbon. And I know there's a die that cuts out holly. I'm just not sure if it's this holly or not. Then we've got these candles, and again, there's a die that'll cut these candles out. Not exactly, I believe it's these two that it'll cut out fairly close. Might be those two. I believe it's these two, actually, that it cuts out. And then on the back side, there's a couple great pages. I'm actually thinking I might save these pages for scrapbooking, or I'm going to have to buy some more of this paper. This beautiful one just is asking for some kind of a Christmas scrapbook page. And then we've got this great candy cane border, which again, great scrapbook page. The red and white stripes. And then we've got this with the red and white ribbon and the boughs of holly. This piece with the diagonal shaded spruce color tone. And then this great piece with the pecan pie background and all those lovely snowflakes. So there's a lot of really fun paper in there. But again, every pack that you purchase in this suite, $3. Every pack of paper that you purchase, $3 will go to help literacy. So if you are interested in that cause and you like this paper, here's a great opportunity to combine two of your favorite things, reading and stamping. All right, and I will show you these on a couple of the cards for the samples that I've got. Here real quick is what the stamps in that stamp set look like. I did a little bit of coloring so that you could see what it would pick up. I did use blends on here. And then again, kind of a very old-timey script with "Have a very Merry Christmas. Let's celebrate the season for someone special and wishing you joy and happiness." Okay, let's jump right in and I'll show you a couple examples of the card. The fun thing with this card is it can be as simple or as, I guess, fancy as you want to make it. So this is my first one. This is using Real Red, and this is using the 6x6 designer paper. This is an online exclusive, and it covers many different holidays. It's called Iconic Celebrations. There's Halloween, Valentine's, New Year's, Christmas, fall-themed pumpkins, that sort of thing. And this is an online exclusive, so it's got lots of different colors, but that's where that plaid comes from. And then this is one of the newer embossing folders available in the mini catalog. It does this plaid sort of a detail, and honestly, I'm not sure what this one is called. I had my other page all set, but I sure didn't have that name set. There we go. Because I'm going to need this for the next one too. This is the Forever Plaid 3D embossing folder, and this is one of the long ones. It's 6 inches wide, but it is longer, so you can do a bigger piece of paper in that. And then we've got this little flap where I've die cut the circle out, and I die cut that. This is using the circle from that new Happy Hibiscus. And then we've got that little background. I did have to add a piece of cardstock behind it because I did not want the back side of this paper to show. And then when you open it up, it's just got that pretty plaid with a sentiment wishing you all the things that warm your heart and lift your spirits. Quick and easy little card. There it is in red, and garden green is the primary colors. This is kind of the template that I made, and just to see if I could get it to work, and it actually worked the first time through, so I'm happy about that. These gemstones on here are the ones that come in that new suite that I'm sharing with you tonight. And I don't know if you can see, but they're kind of like pointy. It's not flat, smooth surfaces. It's a rougher, more pointed surface, and it comes in 2 different. And here I use that great snowflake, Snowy Wonder stamp set and die that's available again in the mini catalog. And then that it's not Falling Softly, that was the old one, but the Snow 3D embossing folder. And then I've got more paper from that suite, or that 6x6 pack of Iconic Celebrations. This one has a Misty Moonlight. And then I use the stamp set that comes with that Snowy Wonder. I use the stamps here. That is not Snowy Wonder though. Huh. I think the one I'm talking about might be in the online exclusives. One of a Kind it's called. Nope, One of a Kind, page 45. It's in this catalog. That just is the stamp set and these 2 dies. So create some pretty fun cards with that. And then I used, of course, 2 stamps from that. Sending a flurry of happy wishes. Hope you have the merriest season ever. And then, last but not least, for my samples, I've got this Mossy Meadow version of the card. And again, this is using paper from the Iconic Celebrations. And it is also using the 3D embossing folder called, and that is available in the mini catalog. It is called something else because I don't have it right in front of me. Just a moment. I know what paper and everything that it goes with. I just don't know what we call it. Painted Trees. So it is the 3D embossing folder that is part of the suite. And I am just using kind of the middle of that folder. You'll see on this card. But it is a lot of fun to use. There's a lot of detail on there. And so that's what I've got here. You can see that detail come through on my card. I think even without me holding it up, but really once it's up there. And then these are the gold version of the rhinestone embellishments that come with the Sentimental Christmas suite of products. And here I just cut out 3 of these trees, and there is in that I am just at a loss for words tonight. I'm so sorry. The snowflake stamp set, there is a little snow pile sort of a stamp. Let me see if I can show it to you. One of a kind, page 45. And I may be way off even on which stamp set this comes from. When I've used as many, it's not in that one. It's funny, I've used so many of my different stamp sets tonight that I'm not keeping track. It is this one, Peaceful Evergreens. And it was that stamp right there. And I just stamped it in Versamark and then put on white embossing powder and heated it up. And that's how I got a little bit of white. You can see underneath those Christmas trees. And I did pop those up on dimensionals just to add a little bit. So as you can see, the shape of this flap doesn't really matter. You can change it to fit whatever you're doing. I'm actually on my card that I'm going to demonstrate for you here. It's going to be all circles. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll share with you my measurements. I've got Pretty Peacock here, and we're going to start with a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 by 7.25, and you're going to score it at 4.25. What you do need to remember is this card folds backwards, so as you're assembling it, please make sure that you're keeping track of that. You know, in the end, if you put it together this way, it really isn't going to make a difference. I just like this fold because it's a little bit different. But if you do happen to do it the opposite direction of what I'm doing, don't worry about it. The card's not ruined. It just opens up a different way. All right, then I have another piece that measures roughly 3 inches, actually 4.25 inches, and I'm scoring it at 1.25 inches. And then you can adjust the length and the thickness to fit whatever your object is. On this one, it was this rectangle shape. On this one, it is the square shape. On this one, again, another square shape. But on this one, I'm using circles. So I don't even want this piece to really be anything other than a mechanism. It's not going to show a whole lot. So I've actually trimmed it to a narrower piece, and I've rounded it off, again, because I'm using circles. You'll also need a piece of designer series paper, and I am going to bug people probably on these cards. I did it at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 because I wanted it to fill it in, but I also wanted to show you what a card would look like. So this one is measured at 4 by 5.25, and again, it's just so that you can see what the bigger border looks like. There's no right or wrong. Then I've got a piece of basic white cardstock, and this measures 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. Just because, actually on these cards, nope, I just left this as the normal one. On this front flat piece, I did go to that 1/8 of an inch because mostly I want everything to kind of cover up on the front here. I didn't worry about edges because I'm doing tone on tone. This piece measures 2 7/8 by 5 3/8. And then I also have this basic white cardstock, which measures 2 3/4 by 5.25. That's for stamping on, for writing on, doing whatever you want. This is a great card for sending letters if you want to do that, because there's not a lot of room to write. I've used my deckled edge circles, die cut 2 of those. And then from that Sentimental Christmas designer series paper, I've also used a slightly smaller deckled edge circle to cut out these 2 cute little deer. Deckled edges rectangle for the Have a Very Merry Christmas. And then I'm going to stamp on the interior the Wishing You Joy and Happiness. And then this time, even though I've got those silvery and gold gemstones here that are part of this suite, I'm actually going to be using the Riverside Irregular Pearls. And specifically, I'm going to be using these greener tone ones that'll look really nice with our Pretty Peacock paper. So let's go ahead and start creating this card. I do already have my stamp mounted onto my block. Deliberately have it on there crooked because I like to focus on the sentiment and not on my block when determining if something is straight or not. And I'm just going to ink that up in my wishing you joy and happiness. And I do want to have you be able to write a little note. So I am going to put this right at the top. Let's hope I got it straight. Pretty good. I really like how crisp and clean this stamp, both of these stamps with this wording stamps on. I don't detect any blurriness or kind of shadowing that sometimes can happen. It's a very, very crisp font. I do like that. All right. So as you know, I do like to get my stamping kind of done and out of the way. Now, the first thing we're going to do is I do want you to take your bone folder and burnish along that 1 1/4 inch piece of your strip. I want this to be pretty flexible, so go both ways. That just kind of breaks down the fiber. And then also make sure that you've burnished the edge of your card. We want that to be fairly crisp too. And what we're going to do is take and put adhesive on one side of this. And I am pretty generous with my adhesive because I want to make sure this sticks. And I'm just eyeballing it so that I'm fairly centered. I want my score line kind of right on the edge. And I'm just going to press that down. The next thing I'm going to do is cover this space up, as well as that part of the flap, with my Designer Series paper. That just kind of covers that little piece of the flap, makes it just look a little crisper. And again, if you look at opposite corners and they're even, then the other 2 corners should be as well. So we've got that, and now that is covering up, and we're good there. Our ink has had time to dry, so let's go ahead and we're going to put this as an inside sentiment. And that'll only show as the card is open. Okay, so that goes like that. So you can see this is pretty quick to put together. And then I'm going to take this piece that I've run through the embossing folder. I did initially leave this blank, and honestly it was I like to have texture and detail on mine, so for me it was too much. This layer is just too much smoothness. This layer is absolutely optional, for you. I just thought it added a little perk to the card. Now I do have these 2 deckled circles, and I've got lines drawn on them. I don't know if you can really, I just took my pencil. Whoops, look at, I'm not even on camera. I took my pencil and just made a mark because one of the things I wanted to try to be able to do was to line these up fairly evenly. We'll see how well that works. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is this circle is going to go here. And I want to make sure it goes all the way to the edge. So I'm going to put my adhesive here. And I'm going to stick this circle like this, making sure that that pencil is to the inside of my card, just because I don't want anybody seeing it. And then I am going to put this on centered like so. All right. And then the next one I want to put on is this piece. Again, my pencil line here, just to match up as best I can. We'll go ahead and put adhesive across here. And I'm really using these 2 pieces to help cover up my flap tool. It's not perfect, but it's close. And so now you don't really see that flap mechanism except where it folds over. And then I've got these 2 cute little deer. I wanted that one for the front because I liked having the birds captured in there. And so I'm just going to add adhesive to this piece, making sure that I have the deer on upright. That would not look good if the deer was upside down, right? And then we'll put adhesive on the back of this piece. So I hope you can see that although there's parts to this card, it really is very easy to make. And again, you can change the shape to be whatever you want. I did stamp out the Have Yourself a Merry Christmas, a very Merry Christmas. And I'm going to put that piece right here. I do actually want to pop it up just a teeny bit on dimensionals. And so I've grabbed those. And I'm just going to put 3. That way it doesn't sag in the middle. And then last but not least, I want to put on these. And again, I'm sticking with the greener tone ones because I think that's picking up the pretty peacock. And so I'm just going to put a couple of these on. Oh, I don't know. We'll put it right there. I think those are really pretty, and I do like how they pick up the pretty peacock. So there you go. That in a nutshell is this flap fold card. I don't even know what to call it. If you have any thoughts on that, but I think flap fold card is fine. So here it is in pretty peacock, in real red, mossy meadow, and really a basic white with the misty moonlight. This one's got the snowflake popped up. The outside is kept fairly plain, but then I've got all that extra snowflake stamping and stuff on the inside. I like that. Mossy meadow, this embossing with that tree, I think is just gorgeous. It adds just enough pop on this card. And I like the simplicity of these 3 trees, but bringing in those gold rhinestones for the top. And here I actually, Merry Christmas, may your holiday be filled with warmth and cheerful celebration. I filled that whole piece up. I can write a quick note or I can insert a Christmas letter and we'll be good on that card. Hoping the season is bright and beautiful. Wishing you all the things that warm your heart and lift your spirits. And then finally, the Sentimental Christmas card. I'm sorry, I'm off camera today too. Sentimental Christmas card. Have a very Merry Christmas. That cute reindeer, the pretty trees, the snowflakes falling, these flat riverside irregular pearls that pick up that pretty peacock, and then wishing you joy and happiness. I could have put a ribbon on, but I thought that just got to be a little bit too much. I prefer just those 3 little dots. So I will repeat my measurements real quick. The base of the card's 5.5 by 7 1/4, scored at 4 1/4. This mechanism, all of these are about 3 inches going across the front here. But you can make it as wide or as narrow as you want to make it, depending on the shape that you're using. Just kind of, I think that 3-inch fits fairly well. The designer series paper on the inside can either be 4 by 5 1/4, or if you don't mind working with 1/8 of an inch, you could do 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 and fill up most of that. This inside piece here is 2 3/4 by 5 1/4, or you could do 2 7/8 by 5 3/8 if you want to match your designer series paper. And then again, if you have designer series paper that's got something on the background that doesn't go with the card, just make a slightly smaller square in the same colored cardstock and that'll cover it up just fine. This card, I actually had to do that, not because it needed more stability or anything like that, but I actually smeared my ink there when I was stamping, so I had to just quick add another layer there to cover up where I had smudged and create my layer. And then finally, our Sentimental Christmas. The cardstock pieces, roughly 3 by 3, and then just go down by 1/4 of an inch. It all depends on what you want to have showing through and that type of thing. But try different shapes. We've got circles, squares, circles and squares, and a rectangle, and it all works really well. I was thinking there's one die we've got that's kind of shaped like that. And I thought that could be kind of cool too if you just folded it off on the one end. So I need to try that. I know you're getting exactly what I'm talking about when I do this, aren't you? I don't believe that one. I think that's in the annual catalog. But I don't know if I'm going to be able to pick it out without knowing. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to pick it out for you exactly. And with the way they have the new catalog organized, it's a little bit harder to go just to dies that'll work. But anyhow, things to try still. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's inspired you to give it a try. And by all means, be flexible on your shape. Go with what hits you as you're working on it. And I wish everybody a great week. And we will see you all. I guess, gosh, it's going to be November 4th, night before the election. Already in November. How did that happen? All right, we'll see you next month. Let's say that. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.